Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which means in the name of Allah, the especially merciful, the most merciful. I would like to, I was born and raised in Canada. In Alberta, I was raised, mostly in Edmonton. My mother was in the oil patch, my father was in the oil patch. I didn't know my father at all. They just made me in Fort McMurray and then never saw him again. And then, so I was raised by her. She did her best. She wasn't a bad mother at all. But because of the situation of the single mother, she didn't have a lot of money, so we had to live in a developed nation in the worst neighborhoods that they have because of the rent, right? So there's gangs, drug addicts, just other kids that are from broken families. So these are the people that I was raised around. So I became angry, greedy, a notorious criminal, just everything bad. My grandparents lived near us, but there was a situation where my mother was just very prideful and didn't want to ask them for help. It was a situation. So later, I was imprisoned. While I was in prison, I found Islam. This book specifically, not that copy obviously, but Brief Illustrated Guide to Understanding Islam. And I thought religion was a joke. I was like, I'll convert to your religion when you can show me scientific evidence that it exists, that it's real. And because I knew that would never happen. I was like, that's not going to ever happen. Well, I read that book and it happened. So, if you think I'm a joker and a clown, read the book. So that, I was reading that as like this horrible person, and I'm like, oh, okay, lucky guess. You can't lucky guess, 20 times. You can't do it. Sorry, there's not that many lucky guesses. So I was like, okay, well, so God exists, and it's the God of this, and I'm like, whoa, this God, it doesn't play. So I'm like, I better do everything he says. So I'm like, okay, so how do I eat? How do I, and I was doing all these things, and then I was like, baby steps. I met an older brother from Iraq, and he's like, you're trying to do everything all at the same time, calm down. So we started doing some baby steps, and it's like kind of like when in blacksmithing, when you like hit the metal and it strengthens it, and that's what Islam is. It's like, for me, I love it so much because it's the greatest gift to mankind, because it forges us from this lump of, wretched nothing to like this great thing, this great person. And so now, before, like I'll get into a little more detail, I was lazy, I wanted easy money, I would take shortcut solutions, crime for gain, violence. I wasn't really that violent, but I was angry. And, if rent got too high or things got too hard or I got a fine, I would blame the policeman instead of myself. And I'd be like, well, I'll just sell some drugs and I'll get some money for this fine because he gave it to me and it's not my fault. Just nonsense like that. To the total opposite. Now, to my boss, I'm like, yeah, I'm coming in tomorrow. And he's like, well, you don't really have to because this situation happened at work. And I'm like, no, I told you I'm coming, so I'm coming. So it's the opposite of that. And it just made me a better person altogether. Everyone I know, from psychologists to, the people that I work for, I'm a first aid attendant for one of the biggest construction, not it, yeah, okay. And so anyway, yeah. It's I'm obviously, you can tell I'm excited, and every day is just, I'm like, it's almost like you're trying to be humble, but it's like you're killing it. So you're like, yo, this is pretty awesome. And so yeah, and you know, every day I'm like, I just thank Allah for everything that He's given me. And it was the things I was trying to get the wrong way before. And now they just come every day. It's almost like I'm not even working for it. So, alhamdulillah, which means praise be to Allah, thanks to be to Allah. Thank you.